My name is Mary Ellen O'Neill, and I worked here at Bishop Noll for 12 years as the Director of Advancement. And part of my job was to develop relationships with our many generous alumni. And one of those people that became a good friend was Rosemary Coleman. And Rosemary is the class of 1942. She was an exceptional student here at Bishop Noll, and she also came back after college and taught here. She taught English for 4 years before moving on to the college level. Rosemary talked at length about her family and how much she admired her brother John. John Coleman was the class of 1940. He was a really smart guy when he was here at Bishop Noll. Very popular. He was a great athlete. He was just kind of an all-around great student and great person. John was always interested in science and how things worked, and he was very curious. It was no surprise to Rosemary that he selected Purdue as in the engineering program as his course of study. He was great at building things, taking things apart, and asking those what-if questions all the time. When John was at Purdue, he was selected by the Army to be part of the Army Specialized Training Program that was highly selective, and these were engineers who would help to rebuild Europe after the war ended, the World War II. So John did join the Army at that point, and went through all the training, the same type of basic training that all enlistees did, but he was also an officer and part of this training program. When you look at John Coleman, he died when he was 22 years old. And before that, he was a student, just like students at Bishop Noll are today. He sat in the same building, at the same desks, and he learned the same subjects. He played football, he played tennis, he was in the band, he did everything. He went to dances, he had girlfriends. He was just like you are today. And when he was asked to give of himself to serve his country, he didn't hesitate. He put country before himself, and he learned those values here at Catholic Central as a student, and through the example of his parents and his other relatives, and he never hesitated for a moment. He didn't really say much or show any worry about what he was embarking upon. And his family really, they were very proud of his selection to be in the ASTP. And they also felt somewhat reassured that his role would be to continue his education and then move on to Europe to help rebuild Europe after the war. So they didn't express a lot of concern at the time. It was really more pride in their son and their brother. John did not appear to be hesitant at all about answering the call to serve. He felt duty bound to his country and a great deal of pride to be selected in this highly competitive program for young engineering students. He was young, he was ambitious and very curious as to what he could accomplish in Europe once the war was over. He also never really showed the fear he had, and I'm sure there was a great deal of fear once he ended up in France during the Battle of the Bulge, which is where John was. He, in his letters in Rosemary's book that she wrote about her brother, she published all of the letters he wrote home to his family. And every single letter was optimistic. There was very little complaining. He explained what he was doing during all of his training and his education, which he spent at Harvard waiting for his call to Europe. Everything was upbeat. He did not try at all to worry his family. He tried to keep his family uh, kind of in the dark a bit about what he was going through, especially that last month in France when he was on the front lines and um, probably himself very afraid, but never put that burden on his family. In the last 10 years, Rosemary Coleman published a book about her brother John. It's called Letters from a Private First Class. When John was in the war, he received 2 Purple Hearts, and the book that Rosemary wrote contains all of the letters that John wrote home to his family, to his mother and his father, and his 2 sisters, his twin sisters, Rosemary and Margaret. And at the very end of the book, there is a quote from that Rosemary included that I'd like to share on Veterans Day, because I'm sure the sentiment is something that all families who have lost a loved one in war must be feeling on a day like today. And the quote is this. It's from the Book of Kings, and it says, "There has never been anyone like you up to now, and after you there will come no one equal to you." I'm sure this sentiment is everywhere in this country today for all those loved ones who were lost in war.